If you're a facilities manager at a university, you know students rely on the cafeteria for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and the occasional late-night snack. So when a dishwasher breaks down and dirty plates pile up, the mess hall can turn messy in the blink of an eye. Enter Grainger. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast delivery, the product you need now is never far away. So you can turn that dishwasher back into a lean, clean washing machine. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
This is Jordan McLeod from Texas State. You're listening to Fun Belt Podcast.
This is the Fun Belt Podcast, part of the Believe Network.
Hosts are Dusty Thibodeau of Warhawk Report, Jeremy Harper of Howl Razor, and Shane Metlin of the Daily News Record.
I think it's potentially a very good week for the Sun Belt.
But I'm just kind of going off on a random rant. It's just frustrating.
Welcome back, Fun Belt Podcast. Shane's with me. Tibbs is with me. I'm with you. I am with you.
Oh, God.
What? Yes, I'm right next to you. Speaking of
literally.
Right next, guys, you like horror movies? Shane, you like horror movies?
Kinda. I mean, I'm not as into them as some people, but
yeah. Not like my wife, she's really into them.
I'm not.
You like the horror movies?
Love them.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
I mean, I like the B-rated horror movies, so I love Terrifier. I have not seen Terrifier 3 yet, though. Okay. Those are great. You know, you still have flashbacks of your childhood watching Nightmare on Elm Street, the good old Friday the 13th movies.
Yeah.
The movie It freaks me out.
Yeah.
The original It, not the new one, the original.
Yeah, that's with oh gosh, I suddenly forget the actor. Tim. Yeah,
him.
Yeah, but it's a good. Yes, that was all good. Yeah, that was like an all-star cast. I was a kid when that miniseries came out, Tibbs, and it had like John Boy in it, and it had the guy from Night Court in it, and it had like it had several other kind of B-list actors in it that you looked at and go, hey, it's that guy. And it was great. It was a good telling of that show. You know, I like even going deeper. I like watching the old 1930s horror movies that came back out in the day, like Dracula and the Wolfman. And for the first time in a long time, I rewatched The Invisible Man. And let me tell you, that movie's a little squirrely. It is a little screwed up. I mean, it has got some cool, sort of creepy lines in it. Like at one point, he's got this guy who's he's made his sort of slave for a while, and the slave has double-crossed him. And he's like, I am going to kill you. No, he says, at precisely 10 o'clock tomorrow night, I am going to kill you. Like, oh my God, what a creepy thing to say to somebody. Check out The Old Invisible Man with Claude Rains. It's pretty good.
Did we just wrap up the show? Did I miss it? Did I sleep through it?
That's right. We jumped forward. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform. And it's your number one source for everything football. And it's actually my number one source for betting online. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. Do you think you know your stuff? Get in on our $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200,000. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on the game of blackjack or poker or unwind with any one of our 150 slot games. Head to the website today and get in on the action. BetOnline, the game starts here.
I was wondering what this was leading into.
I was wondering too.
I love The Invisible Man. You should check it out.
This is going to be like a big metaphor for something going on.
Like the horror show of college football? No, definitely not the horror show of the Sun Belt East that just seems to be a Jekyll and Hyde of performances. No, it's none of that. Instead, we're going What we're going to do for this episode, guys, I don't know if you've heard of it before, but it's called Sunbelt Second and Short. You got the gong? Yeah, that should alert you to the fact that you need to be on your toes. You need to be ready with some facts, maybe with some hot takes, because we're going to do this, buddy. We got 6 games in the Sunbelt, and you guys need to be on point. It starts on Thursday, and I need you guys to – we're going to have the Bet Online odds. We're going to have some analysis. We're going to have some game times. We're going to have everything that our audience loves about us. We're going to pour into this episode. Guys, are you ready for week 7 of Sunbelt Second and Short?
Our audience loves us?
Yes.
Have you not read the inbox, the DMs, the comments on the YouTube page?
I do not read the comments. I do not read the DMs. Are they
Do
negative?
you have comments on YouTube? I think that's.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna get monetized.
Yeah, we got to up the subscribers, so we definitely got to make sure that we keep pushing for people to go to Funbelt Podcast on YouTube to mash the subscribe button. All it does is mean that twice a week during football season, you're going to get our lovely little mugs.
We'll be in your algorithm.
You see me? I'm wearing my my best clothes.
That's
Shane shaves. You've got
that's
your
a
best
mustard buzzard shirt there.
If we get 100 subscribers on YouTube before next week, I will definitely shave.
Wow, there it is.
Why didn't we just lose everybody?
You've lost focus already. It's time for Sunbelt 7 and Short. It's not time to discuss Shane shave. It's not time to discuss Tibbs subscribers. It's time to go all in on the Sunbelt. Are you guys ready?
Second short.
Second and Short.
Second short.
Thursday, October 10th. First game of the week. We get it all to ourselves. It's on ESPNU. It starts at 6:30. Coastal Carolina 4-1 takes on the James Madison Dukes, also 4-1. What a crackerjack game to be on Thursday night. Oh my God, get out your popcorn. It's going to be outstanding. The Dukes, despite the loss to ULM, are a 9.5-point favorite, possibly because they're going to be back in Harrisonburg. I got to know, Shane, are the Dukes going to bounce back?
Well, I think we talked about it a little bit in the last episode. I feel like if they execute, they will bounce back. And by execute, I mean like get rid of the pre-snap penalties that really just did away with any momentum on offense, any rhythm on offense. Take that out. I think that's going to make a huge difference. Expecting a really, really good atmosphere. They sold out. They, upped the number of student tickets that were available, I think, which helped with the sellout. So, should be really, really good atmosphere. Sports Center is going to be in Harrisonburg live during the afternoon, which is, I don't know if they do that for most of their Thursday night games, but I
don't think so.
That'll add to the whole festive atmosphere, I think. And I don't know if you guys totally understand this, but JMU and Coastal kind of hate each other. They've only played 4 times in history, and something happens every time. They've had the mascots get into a fight where the police had to separate them.
Oh, God.
They've had fans get kicked out of the stadium for throwing streamers down in Conway. Kurt Signetti and Jamie Chadwell just really hated each other. Like, I think
everybody.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it makes sense for those two to kind of hate each other. But I don't think there's like a lot of bad blood between the players and coaches going on right now. But I think JMU fans are going to be really fired up to like have this one prime time on a Thursday night.
I'm sure Chesney and Beck are just good friends. So Tibbs, Ethan Vasco, last game, 367 yards and 3 touchdowns. This guy's for real. This might be the best quarterback that the Dukes have played against all year. Do the Chanticleers, a 9.5-point underdog in this game, have a chance to win this game?
You gotta hope that James Madison, especially being back home, they're able to rebound from that road loss at ULM. But this is not an easy game for him by any stretch. Ethan Vasco showed last week that he had 400 yards right around passing.
Yeah.
3 touchdowns. And then we didn't even get to really talk about Braden Bennett, their running back. Kind of a down game, still able to find the end zone once, but that running attack, I think that ULM kind of showcased how you can run the ball against James Madison. I like the Shants to actually kind of take this game and send James Madison into a spiral and really solidify once again that the Shants are back and to prove us wrong on that.
Yeah, I can't believe it, Tibbs, but I'm agreeing with you on that. I'm picking the Shants, and I can't believe I'm doing it, but I don't know. There's just a feeling about these Chanticleers. They seem very tough. The Dukes, hey man, they're tough too, but I think we saw a little vulnerability with them in Monroe. All right, Saturday, October 12th. The game action doesn't start until later in the afternoon, 2:30, on ESPN Plus. ESPN Plus is pretty much our favorite station. The weird Old Dominion Monarchs, they're 1-4, but man, a zesty 1-4. So many of their losses by single digits. Versus the Georgia State Panthers, they're 2-2. The Panthers are, according to BetOnline, a 1.5 point favorite, which I don't know, it seems a little strange. Shane, maybe you can make some sense of that for me.
They beat Vandy.
They did. And Vandy beats Alabama.
Oh, do you want any more? I don't know what to expect. I kind of like ODU in this one. Just, maybe they gained a little bit of momentum. It's hard to say they gained momentum in a loss to Coastal, but to go to Conway, you bring in the freshman quarterback, you get a good game out of him. Offensively, they looked really good. They caught some bad breaks late in the first half. I think ODU, for as much as they struggled record-wise, has shown flashes. They put it together to get a win at Bowling Green. I think they can do it again in Atlanta and get one done. But we'll see what Georgia State does coming off the bye week. Maybe they really fix some problems coming out of the bye.
Yeah, the Monarchs, the beef on them was the defense was playing great, but they weren't getting rewarded from their offense. They put in redshirt freshman Colton Joseph, and all he does is toss 3 touchdowns and run in for another in the loss last week. Are the Old Dominion Monarchs have enough weirdness to go into Atlanta and pick one up from the Panthers? Tibbs?
Without a doubt. I mean, as much as I think the Panthers are headed in the right direction, I think right now, though, they are not as good as Coastal Carolina. And we saw last week that Old Dominion was able to hang with them pretty easily in that game. So I'm really taking the weirdness. We got to stay on the Ricky Ronnie bandwagon. We got to stay on the Shants. On the Monarchs bandwagon. I got Shants on the mind. It's because you were flashing an iPad at me, Jeremy. I don't know why you were.
Getting my information. That's why.
Shiny objects just kill my ADD. But no, I really like Old Dominion in this. I think the quarterback change is going to be the difference maker. They get their first conference win this week in the ATL.
Yeah, I have to agree on that. I know the Panthers are favored in that. They play pretty good at home. Hey, that's where they beat Vanderbilt, guys. But I feel like ODU has got this surge with the new quarterback. Next game, 4 p.m., guys. Southern Miss Golden Eagles. They're 1-4, looking pretty bad. They're playing the ULM Warhawks, which, according to Tibbs, in Monroe is homecoming. He's very excited about it. 4 p.m., as I said, ESPN Plus. The Warhawks, a 7-point homecoming favorite. Tibbs, what do we need to know about this game?
Trap game like there's no tomorrow. I mean, they're on the highest of highs, sitting at 4-1, 2-0 in Sun Belt Conference action. And look, how many times have we seen a bad ULM team jump up to bite a team that they have no business beating? Whether it be the year that they beat South Alabama, they beat Liberty, beat Louisiana Lafayette. This Southern Miss team, they're not just going to roll over. They're playing for pride. They're playing maybe to draw some attention to themselves before they jump in the portal or do whatever they're going to do. I really kind of like the Eagles in this one. just because I think that ULM is going to have to stay grounded to really contend on it. With that said, I think the defense is better than Southern Miss's offense. I think Southern Miss's defense will let the Warhawks offense shine a little bit more. But unfortunately, guys, I'm going Eagles.
Yeah, Shane, I've seen this happen before, where a team, like a fan base, their team suddenly gets a little bit of success, and they get really humble, more than just unreasonably humble. I think that's what we're seeing here. I don't see Southern Miss doing anything in this game. I will say this, Shane, that the Warhawks have the 115th ranked team when it comes for points, 19 points per game. Eventually, that cork is going to come off, right, Shane?
Yeah, and I think the offense is getting better, and this Monroe defense, they should just completely shut down a hapless Southern Miss offense. We talked about how Southern Miss just can't get anything going offensively. Everything we've seen from ULM says they should just shut them down defensively. The trap game part of it's the only thing that's a question mark to me. I don't know if you noticed, on the Sunbelt teleconference, and this is not any fault of Brian Vincent or his players, but every single question during his time on the thing was about the JMU game. Typically, you get maybe one question about the previous game, and then you're getting a lot of questions. People want to write their previews for the next one. Does that mentality seep in? Because I'm sure it's the same for kind of players going to class, assuming they go to class and things like that. They're hearing it. They're hearing about how great last weekend was. That's the only question mark I have, is if they've effectively done a good job of turning the page and getting ready for this one, or if it might be a little bit of a trap game. But matchup-wise, I don't see Southern Miss doing anything offensively.
Maybe it is a little bit more than sudden success humility that's propelling Tibbs' analysis here. Maybe you guys have something here. This could be a trap game. I just don't think that you walk into Monroe and collect the W. Just not anymore. It's just not in the cards. I think ULM's got this game. All right, guys.
Quote Will Hall.
Yeah.
Sometimes, Jeremy, you just got to get that check.
Poor Will Hall. He's trying so hard.
Once they get into the third quarter.
The O'Douls maintain your edge. Sunbelt game of the week is your Arkansas State Red Wolves. They're 3-2, going against the Texas State Bobcats. They're also 3-2. This is at 6 p.m. ESPN Plus. The Bet Online line for the game is 14 points for the Bobcats. And maybe rightly so. The Bobcats are tough at home. They score a lot of points. Last time we played this game, guys, Red Wolves obliterated Texas State 77-31, with Butch Jones pouring all of his malice and rancor for earning bowl eligibility. Tibbs, are we going to see a repeat of this, or do the Bobcats have their number this year?
I think the Bobcats win it, but I think it's an absolute slugfest. I think that they're still missing Ben Bell a lot on the defensive side of the ball. I think, though, that Jordan McLeod, Lincoln Pear, all have the offense really ticking along. Joey Hobart, also another big offensive key there at the receiver position. They're going to put up the points. And I think that offense is going to be just that much better than Arkansas State's defense. I think Jalen Rayner has another great game, but it's just not quite enough with the Bobcat faithful there lighting it up at Wacker Field.
Those crazy Bobcats have something like 4 defensive linemen. They're just awesome. I think they get more sacks than anybody in the conference. And Ben Bell, yes, he hasn't been playing in the press conference. And he did say that he thought maybe Bell comes back this game. That made everybody go, because that would just be one great guy too many, in my opinion. Shane, what do you think happens in this game? This is a great big Sunbelt West battle. Who ends up on top?
Yeah. I'm a little bit surprised by the line being a couple scores. I think it's going to be a close one. And I like Texas State, but there's just been inconsistency, and I really am waiting for the big breakout game from Jalen Rayner for this season. He's obviously had his breakout last year, but I just feel like we haven't gotten the full Jalen Rayner experience, and it's bound to happen here soon. He's still touchdown interception ratio is not great. His numbers on the road are not good this year, but he's also played at Iowa State. He's played at Michigan. I think this is the big road game breakout performance for Rayner, and he's going to be in position to make a play to win this game late, and I think he might do it.
Yeah, I agree 1,000% with that. I think it would be great to see a back and forth matchup between McLeod and Rayner. Hope it works out. We'll just have to see. In the meantime, about a half an hour later after the kickoff of that game, the Appalachian State Mountaineers, they're 2-3. They go up against the Raging Cajuns. They're 4-1. We're going to see this on ESPN+. The Cajuns are a 10-point favorite, maybe rightfully so. We talked about the quarterback, Ben Woldridge, sort of having a halcyon season with the Cajuns, just having a great season with the pass and with the run, leading that team to 4 wins. Only hiccup, Tulane at home. Kind of wish they had sealed that. Tips, what are we going to see out of this game? Are the Cajuns going to show us that they're the cream of the crop in the Sun Belt West?
I don't know about the cream of the crop, but I definitely think that they get the win over the Mountaineers. We had talked about previous episode where the Mountaineers just have a lot going on off the field with all of the hurricane destruction in that area. I don't know how much football is really important to them right now as they try to rebuild their community, try to find places to lay their head, places to even think about trying to practice. That I think that that's really just too much to really have them rebound and be focused on this game. I think they put up a good fight like they did last week against Marshall, but it's still just the Cajuns and that Raging Cajun defense and offensive side just getting it done and moving on to 2-0 in Sun Belt Conference action.
That Cajun defense looked really good against, Southern Miss. Cameron Whitfield, Sun Belt defensive player of the week, had 4 sacks on the Golden Eagles. Does Appalachian State have an offensive line that can keep Whitfield from sacking Aguilar and keeping Aguilar from making big plays, Shane?
I think they do. I think the offensive line should be considered a strength for App State, but I'm just kind of with with Tibbs. That please,
we look alike.
Please don't let me say I'm with Jeremy. That's the last thing I want to do.
No. Say you're with me. Instant credibility.
No, but it's just so much going on. That cross division travel is tough regardless. How many times does a good team lose when they have to make that long trip for the interdivision game? We see that anyway, and then you throw onto the fact that they're still out there volunteering, doing stuff at the time when they would typically be, all in on preparing. They're not going to class. There's no classes at App State right now, so they do have a little extra time, but players and coaches have way more on their minds than game planning right now, and I don't expect an App State win. If they do, it might be riding emotion more than anything, but there's just so much on their plate right now.
Yeah, I think that Appalachian State desperately needs a get-well game, and that game is not against the Cajuns. So bad timing for the Cajuns, or bad timing for the Mountaineers to have to go up against the Cajuns. I think the Cajuns win that game. Last game of the night. It's a 7 p.m. game. It's on ESPNU. It's not a bad game. This game has some implications in the Sun Belt East where things are a little cloudy right now. Marshall Thundering Herd, they're 3-2. They go up against the Georgia Southern Eagles. No. Yeah, Georgia Southern. Not the Georgia Southern Eagles, guys. It's the Georgia Southern Eagles, not the Southern Eagles.
What?
It's all in the inflection. All right, I just don't want a bunch of Eagles fans yelling at me. All right. Anyway, they're 3-2. 7 p.m. ESPNU. Marshall is a 2.5-point favorite, which is kind of like just saying we don't know who's going to win this game. Obviously, it's in Statesboro where the Eagles usually soar. Shane, what are we going to see out of this game?
I don't know.
No,
I really don't. I mean, I feel like we're going to get some clarity in the East this week, regardless. I mean, I think the JMU Coastal game is going to separate one of those two teams, and I think, the other two contenders in the East, as of right now, if we're not expecting much from App, then the other two contenders of the East are in this game, and one of them's going to do something, give themselves a leg up. And I like Marshall coming off that 52-point performance, which we haven't seen a lot of offensive explosion like that. I'll ride with Braylon Braxton for now, who I hope I got his name right because I know I keep switching back and forth between Braylon Braxton and Braxton Braylon, but he was impressive, and I think maybe Marshall's going to ride a little momentum, but, not that many teams go to Statesboro and win.
Yeah, Marshall, they get that jolt of energy by sitting Stone, who I didn't think was playing that bad. And they throw in Braxton 5 total touchdowns, 2 rushing, on 140 yards rushing from that guy. That guy's pretty awesome. But meanwhile, the Eagles seem pretty happy with J.C. French. He's thrown 1 pick. He's averaging 220 passing. You know what? I just think there's just too much Statesboro in this game, Tibbs. What do you think?
I agree. I mean, I like the Herd overall. I think that they are a great, well-rounded team. But there's just something about Eagle Creek that it's the difference maker to make up that Bet Online odds difference. I like the Eagles. I like J.C. French. I think Jalen White finally gets his breakout game in this game, and we see the Eagles soar.
Yeah, I think that muddy, cloudy, possibly contaminated Eagle Creek is the tonic needed for victory in Statesboro. And there we go, guys. We're finished. We're done with week 7 of Sunday Second and Short. You guys were amazing. Pat yourselves on the back. Congratulations. Well done. Well played.
Anything else happening around the Sun Belt Conference? I can't believe, guys, we're a month away from tip-off of basketball season, and honestly, I have not heard about Sun Belt Media Days, a teleconference.
I have heard.
I have heard too, but I don't think it's been announced. But
no, I think 15th and 16th or something like that.
That's what
in New Orleans or in Pensacola.
I think it's all online.
I think it's just going to be a Zoom.
Yeah.
I love it. That means we can attend.
I plan on attending because
I'm
still
running content for the average listener, by the way.
The behind the scenes content.
Yeah.
So as much as we make fun of Shane, we get to make fun of Jeremy, by the way, because I can now proudly say that I am a Bolitnikoff Award voter, much like the Shane Metlin of the Daily News Record.
Damn, you guys are legit.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. Well done. Yeah, you guys are doing secret podcasts without me, and now you're like voting in prestigious awards. You guys are just running past me, man.
Our time's coming, Jeremy. We'll have our own split off show.
Oh, okay. All right. That'll be good.
We'll laugh. We'll make fun of Shane.
That's all we're in for it, right? That's the only reason why we do this.
I turned in my AP basketball ballot today too, so really legit.
So you put A State in there, right?
I didn't. I had 2 mid-majors in there though. You can guess which ones.
JMU and South Alabama.
No.
Okay.
Oh, because the Jaguars break your heart too. Gonzaga is not a mid-major.
Okay, 3 if you count Gonzaga.
killing me,
anyway,
Shane.
I am looking forward to this season, not just because Arkansas State is supposed to be good, which they are. I feel like there's a lot of good teams this year. It's going to be a lot of good basketball. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what the Sun Belt does. Finally, it feels like the Sun Belt is becoming that basketball conference that Keith Gill had envisioned like 10 years ago. It's finally happening.
There's still one big league this year. I'm sorry.
Probably.
I think it's going to be a hell of a race for that bid.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's going to be competitive. Really the only team that's not going to be competitive is the Warhawks, but that's how it is every year. So,
thanks, Jeremy. And on that note, we go to plugs, promos, and parting shots with Jeremy already shooting one over the bow. Jeremy, please continue on.
I guess I'm going to give you like kind of a recommendation. I was going to talk a little bit about how the balance of power has shifted from the Sun Belt East to the Sun Belt West, but I decided I didn't want to make Shane any angrier than he already is. So I'm going to stick with just a sort of milquetoast recommendation. Guys, do you have the HBO? It's now called Max. Do you have this app on your smart TV?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
All right. Well, they're producing a show called The Penguin, which is the sort of classic mafia story set in Gotham. Colin Farrell, who is thin and handsome, plays the Penguin, which you might have seen him in the new Batman movie playing the same character. He plays the Penguin in this. It sort of continues after the events of the Batman movie. You don't see Batman at all. It's just the Penguin and a power struggle between rival mob families. Penguin's in the middle of it. I don't know if it's going to be a great show. It feels a little cookie cutter, a little paint by numbers when it comes to sort of mafia intrigue. But man, Colin Farrell as the Penguin is just sort of mesmerizing to watch. He does a great job. He's behind like 300 pounds of makeup, and yet he still comes out as expressive and as a great actor as he's always been. Check out The Penguin on Max, which used to be HBO, which used to be HBO Max. I don't know why they changed the name. I don't give a shit. Just watch The Penguin.
Burgess Meredith is my Penguin.
He was great. Yeah. He had the cigarette and the little carrier thing and the waddle. Yeah, he was outstanding.
God, y'all are old. Shane, what do you have?
I'm going to make some people mad, maybe.
Yes!
First of all, obviously, Pete Rose died not long ago. Great baseball player.
Awesome.
Charlie Hustle. Respect him as a player. And don't want to, completely rag on the guy who just died. But it's been bugging me a lot. People want to, talk about how he should be in the Hall of Fame and how betting on his own team, betting on them to win was fine because he betted on them to win, which is what he claims. That's what he claims. So even if you take that at face value, you have to remember he was the manager of the Reds when he was making these bets. And just because he was betting on them to win one game doesn't mean that doesn't affect the integrity of the season, of everything else. Because let me ask you this. If you're the manager and you've got $1,000 on tonight's game, are you throwing everything you have to try to win that one? Are you emptying your bullpen? Are you doing everything you can? And then you're affecting the rest of the week. So I don't think you should just let him off the hook for betting on the Reds or only betting on his own team if that's what he did. You still, as much as gambling gets into the everyday part of sports right now, the leagues embrace it. I get the hypocrisy of Major League Baseball kind of continuing to punish him, even though they've embraced gambling themselves. They're going to send a team to Las Vegas, probably, all this, but just been kind of bothering me on my mind a little bit that people forget that there's that aspect of it. Not to totally villainize the guy, but let's not just say that he never did anything wrong either.
Listen, Pete Rose was kind of a dick.
Yeah.
You know, my mom ran into Pete Rose in Vegas and asked for his autograph, and he was such a dick about it. Now, here's the thing. I get it. His autograph, he likes to sell. That's how he makes money. But he was never just a nice guy. That being said, I understand that argument that you're making 1,000%. And you're right. It is oily to be a manager of a team. Even if you're betting for them, you're right. You're emptying out the bullpen. You're putting guys who are injured who can maybe make hits, doing whatever you can to get that one game. That is oily and seedy. And if you look at his sentence, it wasn't a lifetime ban, which some are saying, well, he's dead now, put him in. It was a forever ban. You know, it wasn't lifetime. It was like, you're never getting in. That was stipulated from the beginning. That said, I do find it hard to put the guy, or to say that the guy who has the most hits ever in Major League Baseball is not in the Hall of Fame. And the guy who is one of the most racist guys in baseball, Ty Cobb, is in the Hall of Fame. We kind of just forget about that. Well, he was just a racist old crow. It's fine. He might have murdered a man. It's okay. He's Ty Cobb, but we're just going to throw Pete Rose under the bus. I am torn on this, Shane Metlin, because I want to see McGuire in the Hall of Fame. I want to see Clemens in the Hall of Fame. I want to see Bonds in the Hall of Fame. Those guys cheated. They cheated at time, though, when everybody was cheating, and it seemed like, you know, it was like a clown car. Tibbs, please weigh in and help me decide how I should think on this matter.
I love our sponsor, Bet Online, and pray that they're. I would like to say that the preceding message does not reflect the views of our beloved sponsor that pays us.
We love
Bet Online.
Oh man, what
Bet Online. No, here's what we do.
Okay.
There's too many shit players getting into the Hall of Fame. Instead of letting these guys that you're like, yeah, maybe they're in, maybe they're not.
Yeah,
just
like
have
Craig
the Astros. No, I mean, he was a 3,000 hit. But,
okay.
But the guys that you're like, there's really nobody I want to vote for. Asterisk year. Everybody that has the asterisk, you get in this year, one time only, until maybe whenever that next just shit year is that we can't find enough people to actually get in. So there they are. So you have the Hall of Fame ballot. There's A-Rod, there's McGuire, there's Bonds, there's Pete Rose. There's everybody under the sun. And they all get a big old nice asterisk right next to their name.
So your solution to this very complex and touchy issue is an asterisk?
I'm actually fine with letting every player who is great enough as a player into the Hall of Fame. I don't really care who's in the Hall of Fame and who's not. If I don't have an emotional attachment to that player, like let them in. Let you know all the steroid guys in. Let them all in. My entire point was just that, like, just because he only bet for the Reds to win doesn't mean that it was okay.
Oh yeah, and I imagine some people are.
I hear that argument. I hear that argument all the time, and I just think that argument doesn't hold water.
You know, I get that. I first of all, I agree with you 1,000%, Shane. I get that in an age where betting is like, we've got ESPN promoting betting, and suddenly betting is as taboo as it was anymore. But man, they find some basketball players betting on their own teams, and man, they're out of the game, right? And you have to, because you corrupt the system that way. I feel like ESPN being involved in betting corrupts the system, and they need to get out of it as fast as they can. But let me ask you this, Tibbs. Would you put Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame?
Yes, because I have an autographed jersey card of his that I have pulled out of a pack and I'm waiting to sell. That's tuition money, damn it.